Welcome to The Explainer. So, if you've been paying any attention to the financial world lately, you already know that 2026 has been an incredibly turbulent year for credit cards. We're talking massive devaluations, wildly shifting reward structures, and honestly, skyrocketing annual fees that are all kind of hidden behind these increasingly aggressive, shiny marketing campaigns. But today, we are cutting straight through that noise. We are going to break down the 2026 credit card market using cold, hard facts, and we're mapping out exactly what works and, well, what really doesn't. Right now, I want you to take a quick mental inventory of your own wallet. Think about the cards you swipe every single day. Are they actually pulling their weight? Or are you secretly losing money to annual fees and heavily capped reward structures? Today, we are climbing the ultimate worst to best tier list to answer exactly which cards are actually worth your hard-earned money in 2026. Okay, let's dive into this. We are climbing from the worst to the absolute best, starting with the traps and overrated in the D and C tiers, making our way up to the solid but flawed B tier, hitting the powerhouse picks in the A tier, and finally crowning the 2026 elite S tier. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the traps and overrated, our D and C tiers. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we mean by traps. These are cards that sound incredibly rewarding on the surface, but when you do the actual math, they completely fall apart. Take a look at the Credit One Platinum X5. It advertises a massive 5% cashback on essentials like gas, groceries, and internet. Sounds amazing, right? But wait, that 5% is strictly capped at the first $5,000 of spend per year. That means the absolute maximum cashback you can ever earn in those categories is $250. Subtract the card's steep $95 annual fee, which has literally zero credits to offset it, by the way, and your true maximum profit is just $155. It's an objective mathematical trap. Then we have the C tier, which is full of cards resting entirely on brand hype, like the Apple Card. The marketing really wants you to feel premium when you're swiping that heavy titanium metal card. But unfortunately, that titanium is weighing down your wallet way more than it's filling it. Swiping that physical card only gets you a super underwhelming 1% cash back. To get the 2% rate, you are absolutely required to use Apple Pay. On top of that, you rarely get a sign-up bonus, and honestly, the card's future is incredibly uncertain right now. Goldman Sachs took severe losses on it and ended their partnership early, leaving JP Chase to pick up the pieces. That uncertainty alone keeps this firmly anchored in the C tier. Let's keep the pace brisk here and rapid fire through some other C tier offenders. First up, the Capital One Quicksilver. It offers a flat 1.5% back, which is just objectively below the modern 2% industry average now. Then we've got the brand new Robinhood Platinum card. Walking in with a jaw-dropping $695 annual fee, it kind of feels like an off-brand Amex, demanding way too much effort for not nearly enough upside travel value. And hey, speaking of Amex, the Amex Green Card sits right here too, charging a $150 annual fee with only a really weak $29 Clear Plus credit to try and offset it. Across the board, these all just demand way too much and deliver way too little. Oh, and we absolutely have to talk about the massive devaluation over at Bank of America. For years, cashback lovers absolutely adored BofA's Preferred Rewards program. If you parked $100,000 in assets with them or Merrill Lynch, you got a massive 75% boost on your credit card rewards. But as of May 2026, they rebranded to BofA Rewards and violently hiked that asset requirement. They bumped it from $100,000 to an astronomical $1 million just to get that exact same 75% boost. It's a 10 times increase, which firmly pushes cards like their unlimited cash way down the rankings for everyday consumers. Moving right along to Section 2, solid but flawed, welcome to the B tier. So these are your solid, highly popular premium cards. They offer incredible perks and amazing luxury travel protections, but they are severely held back by massive fees. I mean, just look at that number. $895. That is the new 2025 annual fee for the American Express Platinum Card. That is literally a rent payment for some people. And its main competitor, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, well, it isn't far behind, having bumped its own fee up to $795. These are just staggering upfront costs. And that brings us to the absolute fundamental truth of the B tier. To offset an $895 or $795 annual fee, you have to play what is essentially a giant coupon game. Do you naturally use Uber credits? Do you actually eat at Resi restaurants? Are you organically using those specific rigid travel credits? Value here is highly subjective, and it depends completely on your personal spending habits. If you have to twist your lifestyle into knots just to validate the fee, the card is playing you. That subjectivity is exactly why these giants live in the B tier. Another major B-tier occupant right now is the Bilt ecosystem, especially after their incredibly polarizing 2.0 update. Look, earning points on rent or a mortgage without paying a transaction fee is arguably one of the most powerful tools in the entire credit card game. But Bilt 2.0 made things frustratingly complicated. Now, unlocking those housing points with their Obsidian or Palladium cards relies heavily on exactly how much non-housing spend you put on the card. While the points themselves are still extremely valuable, the sheer complexity and unpredictability of this new system lands them directly in the B tier. All right, now we're getting into the really good stuff. Section 3, Powerhouse Picks, the A tier. Now we rise above all those complications. These are your everyday heavy lifters, powerhouse picks that consistently reward you without the headache, without the coupon clipping, and without massive hoops to jump through. Now, what's really interesting about this is the sheer dominance of the Robinhood Gold Card when it comes to flat cash back. A flat 3% back across the board on every single purchase is practically unheard of, completely dwarfing those standard 2% catch-all cards. But, and there's a big but here, it sits in the A tier instead of the S tier for a very specific reason. There is absolutely no welcome bonus, and you have to pay a $50 annual Robinhood Gold membership fee. When you do the math, you have to spend upwards of $20,000 on this card just to offset the lack of the $200 sign-up bonus you'd get from a normal 2% card. If you're someone who prefers cash back over travel miles, American Express gives us two absolute A-tier heavyweights here. It's a really clear choice depending on your habits. On one hand, the Blue Cash Everyday gives you a $0 annual fee and 3% back on groceries, online retail, and gas. On the other hand, the Blue Cash Preferred charges a $95 fee, though it's usually waived the first year, and gives you a staggering 6% back on groceries and streaming. The only thing keeping these incredible cards out of the S tier is that both of them capped those elevated rewards at $6,000 of spending per year. Still, absolutely spectacular tools for everyday life. Let's round out the A tier with another rapid fire. We have the incredibly reliable Citi Double Cash and the Wells Fargo Active Cash, both of which offer a completely unlimited 2% back, no thinking required. Then there's the Discover It card, which magically matches all your cash back dollar for dollar at the end of your first year, effectively turning its 5% rotating categories into a massive 10%. And finally, the US Bank Cash Plus card, which actually lets you choose 5% cash back on home utilities. That is a huge category. But here's what you need to take away from this. You absolutely must check if your utility company charges a 2 to 3% credit card processing fee. If they do, it's going to eat right into those profits, so watch out for that. And here we are, Section 4, the 2026 Elite, the S tier. We have finally arrived at the climax of our explainer. These are the undisputed, outsized value champions, offering incredible, stress-free returns on investment. Kicking off the S tier is a total no-brainer for a massive portion of the population, the Amazon Prime Visa. If you are already paying for an Amazon Prime membership, this card carries zero additional annual fee, but gives you an unlimited 5% cash back at Amazon and Whole Foods. Plus, you're getting 2% on gas, restaurants, and transit, and it has no foreign transaction fees. It is simple, it's devastatingly effective, and honestly, it's practically mandatory if you shop at Amazon. Next up, we have to look at the immense power of the Citi ecosystem. The Citi Strata Premier gives you 10x points on hotels booked through their portal and 3x on air travel, dining, gas, and groceries, all for just a $95 fee. Now pair that with the no annual fee Citi Custom Cash, which automatically gives you 5% back on your top spending category each cycle. Because both of these earn Citi thank you points, you can pool them together. And why does this matter so much in 2026? Because Citi recently added one-to-one point transfers directly to American Airlines. That makes these combined points incredibly valuable for travelers. It's a total game changer. Okay, let's move to and see how this builds into the ultimate, incredibly simple two-card setup, the Capital One Duo. Step 1, you just use the no annual fee Saver card to earn 3% on everyday categories like dining, groceries, and entertainment. Step 2, you seamlessly transfer those cashback earnings over to the Premium Venture X card. Step 3, you convert that cashback directly into high-value travel miles. Just like that, you are covering almost every major spending category with maximum efficiency and minimum brain power.
So the crucial point is exactly how the math works on that Venture X card, which really anchors this Capital One setup. Yes, it has a $395 annual fee. However, they immediately give you a $300 annual travel credit to use in their portal. Furthermore, every year on your anniversary, they hand you 10,000 miles, which is worth a baseline of $100. Well, 300 plus 100 is 400. You are literally being paid $5 a year just to hold this card. And in return, you get a base 2x miles on every single purchase, primary rental car coverage, and lounge access. Even with some recent devaluations to their lounge guest policies, the simple, undeniable math makes this an undisputed S-tier travel card.
Which brings us right back to you and your wallet. After climbing this definitive tier list, take a look at the plastic and metals sitting in your pocket right now. Are you actually utilizing the incredible math of the S-tier heavyweights, or are you stuck down in the C-tier paying for shiny titanium marketing and credits you never use? Take a really hard look at your spending habits this week, and don't be afraid to make a change. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep optimizing.